Hi again, welcome back. I'm James. This is my Maserati Ghibli SQ4 and it is hot today. In spite of the heat, I'm still going to do part 5 of my 7-part series 70,000 mile service on my Maserati Ghibli SQ4. In this part, I will be replacing the brake fluid on the car. But before we get into that, you guys have probably noticed I've renamed my channel already. James DIY Garage. I chose that name because it's catchy, but again, it doesn't center on one type of car. I figure if I just do just the Ghibli, my viewership, my subscription base is going to be limited. But let's go over some of the names that were suggested in the comments. Okay, most recently was Nathaniel Ochoa, and you can tell that the name that I chose uses part of his. He suggested the Ghibli Backyard, JR's Backyard Ghibli, JR's Ghibli Garage. I chose James DIY Garage. Somebody else mentioned DIY, let's see. Kit Kat Patel suggested Raymaker's Exotics 101. But I don't want to focus on just exotics because I'm not going to be doing Lamborghinis or Ferraris in my home garage here. I don't have the equipment. I don't have the lift. It's just not going to happen in my garage. David Gonzalez here suggests Ray's Garage. That's spelled R-A-A-Y apostrophe S. Ray's Garage. People don't really refer to me as Ray. They call me by my first name, James. So that's why I chose my first name, James. Me on Tens suggests Skipper James. He's based on my Navy career. Nah, I was never a skipper. I was only a second-class petty officer. So, thanks, Me on Tens. Four-door Maz suggested Neptune's Wrench, and I like that one. But again, I didn't want to just focus on one type of car, Maseratis. My brother suggested the Exotic Wrench. He also suggested Ghibli DIY. I got the DIY from him. He also suggested the Ghibli Guide. Again, I don't want to limit my videos to just the Ghibli. And that's pretty much all. If I missed somebody's suggestion, if you know you made a suggestion on my comments below and I didn't mention it, I apologize. There's a lot of them, and I'm just scrolling through here. So the name that I chose is a combination of 3 suggestions. The name that I choose is basically a combination of 3 suggestions. Nathaniel Ochoa, the garage part, I got from him. David Gonzalez, Ray's, I got part of that from him, but I chose my first name instead, my name. And the DIY I got from my brother, and a lot of his were DIYs. So that's why it's a combination of James DIY Garage. So I hope you like it. If you like the name that I chose for my channel, thank you. If you don't, you can post other suggestions in the comments below, but once I said it, I can't change it. You can also send me an email as a comment. And my email is right here, and I will also put it in the description below. So let's get started on the brake fluid change. Let's go. So these are the tools that I'm going to use to replace the brake fluid in my brake system. Got an 11mm wrench here, open close, to open the nipples. I have a bleed bottle here I got this out of the cupboard. I just drilled a hole in the cover. The hose I got from Napa. It's part of another siphon kit, little $3 kit that I bought. I'm not going to use the siphon kit because I've got my own siphon kit right here, a lot better one. And this is what you're going to use. This is what I'm going to use to remove the fluid out of the old fluid out of the reservoir. This is new brake fluid, Super Dot 4 by Pentazine. And this is SAJ 1704 compatible. And this is what is called for in the manual for the Ghibli. And finally, I've got one of these. This is a Motive power bleeder. This is an investment here. It's not that expensive actually. I forget what I paid for, but I got it on Amazon. I'll put a link to it in the description below. But if you don't get this, you could always use an assistant, and the assistant would press on the brakes, pump the brakes, while you bleed the calipers, while you bleed each wheel. But with that, you run the risk of introducing air into the system. With this eliminates that probability. This screws into the reservoir. You take the cap off and you just put this in place of where the cap is, tighten it down tight, and you put brake fluid in here, cap it off, tighten it up, pump pressure up to 15 psi. It'll supply a complete flow of brake fluid to the reservoir. That way you don't run the risk of introducing air into the system. After each wheel, you come back here and you'll check to see if there's 15 psi still. If not, pump it back up to 15 psi. When you're working with brake fluid, because brake fluid is so corrosive, you do not want to get it on your paint. So use protection. Protect your fender here so you don't get brake fluid on your fender. I've elected to use double folded towels for this. But the brake reservoir is right here underneath this panel here. Just take the panel off, take the brake cover off. Reservoir is right there. Stick this end in here. Stick this end in here. Pump. Oops. It's very low. Try to pump slower. Ooh, that's pretty dirty. Actually. It's pretty dirty actually. Okay, you can see that stuff looks pretty dirty. That's what's going to be coming out of my brake system. That's why it needs to be changed. Okay, now I'm going to put brake fluid in the reservoir and fill it up as much as possible without overflowing. There are other guys that suggest instead using a quick disconnect fitting. I never bought one. I thought about it, but we'll just go with this. Okay, we'll screw this under the reservoir. Nice and tight. Okay, I actually elected to go with a fitting. I had one on my air compressor, so I just took it off my air compressor and utilized it for this. I can clean it up and put it back on the air compressor later without having to buy another one. So let's go ahead and pump it up. Okay, it's at 15 psi. No, not yet. Okay, now it's at 15 psi. We'll see if it holds the pressure there. We got a leak. Son of a gun. somewhere. Okay, after troubleshooting a loss of pressure issue, I've determined that I just didn't have this cap on tight enough. I'd pump it up to 15 psi and it would slowly creep, 50 psi and it would slowly creep back down. So I tightened the cap up. Actually, what I did is I disconnected this first, pumped it up to psi, and watched the pressure go down. So it's not in my system. It's this. So I figured, well, the only place it can be coming from is here. So I tightened this back up, pressured it back up, and lo and behold, it's holding its 15 psi now, which is a good sign. So we can continue on with the process. Problem solved. When you're bleeding the brakes, you should start off at the caliper that's farthest away from the reservoir. On the Ghibli, the reservoir is on the driver's side front. So you want to do the passenger side rear caliper first. Then you want to do the driver's side rear caliper. Then after you're done with that one, you go to the passenger side front caliper. Then the last one is the driver's side front caliper. There are two bleed screws on these Brembos. One on the inside, one on the outside. We'll do the outside one first. Pull the the rubber cap off here. This thing can be hard to get off. There you go. Got it. Pull the cap off. And you want to put the hose on here. Make sure you get it on good. I think that'll do it. Then you want to break the caliper. Break this. Loosen it up. There we go. And fluid should come out. And we do indeed see fluid coming out. Don't loosen it up too much. The fluid will start coming out the thing here. Oops. Shit. Dang it. Made a mess, as usual. Wrap it up. Try this again. See fluid coming out. While this drains, I'm going to go get a rag. I don't think I have a good seal on this. Seal this up. Oops, shit. Oh, brother. Hang on. There was a design flaw in my bleeder bottle here. Since there was such a tight fit here, it would hold the pressure. So when the bleeder bled out, they put this under pressure. When I released it, it squirted all over the place here. So I had to put a little hole here for the air to drain out, for the air to come out. So let's try this again, see how smooth this goes. Goes a lot smoother. I like this a lot better. I don't see any air coming out. Fluid looks good, so I'm going to cap it off, tighten it up. Don't tighten these up too tight. That's good. Then you want to kind of pinch it and drain it down inside. Put your rubber dust cover back on and do the other side. Get the cover off. On there. Before we need to loosen it up. There we go. Fortunately it wasn't too tight. And here comes the fluid. There we go. A little bit of air coming out. That oil looks good. I was watching another YouTuber demonstrate this on a Mustang GT350, and he had a rubber mallet wrapped in a microfiber towel, and he was tapping on the top of here. He says to get air out of the cross line here. I don't know. He's been doing this a lot longer than me, so he could be right. I just don't want to be tapping on my caliper. Spray this down. Brake fluid. Get all the brake fluid off there. Brake cleaner. Using brake cleaner. Get all the brake fluid off of it. Alrighty. Put the dust cover back on the inside one, and I'll say we're done. Here. Now we go to okay. We're on the driver's side rear now. I'm going to do the inside one first this time. Put the rubber dust cover off. I emptied the bottle. There we go. Here comes the fluid. I don't know if you can see that. Probably can't. Snap this a little bit more. Coming out, fluid's coming out. I think that's good enough. Put the cap off here. There we go. Tighten this up a little bit more. Put the dust cover on. Take this one off. Man, it's hot out here. Oops. Where did it go? Where did it go? There it is. Okay. Ooh, it is hot out here. I'm going to have to take a break here a little bit to get some water. Okay. Just let that drain for just a little bit. I can see some, looks like sediment or bubbles, more like sediment in the flow. At any rate, we're getting all that dirt out of there. Okay, I don't see any more stuff flowing through there, so, and I got about the same amount here as I did from the last one. It's still draining, but I'll go ahead and tighten it back up. There we go. Let's cover off. That went pretty smooth. Let it drop there. Make sure it's tight. Make sure it's tight. QA. It's done. I keep saying QA in my videos. For those of you that don't know what QA means, some of you will, especially if you've been in the military, aviation specifically. Even in maybe in the Air Force, they use the same term, QA, quality assurance. But each squadron in the Navy had its own QA department. After a job was done, somebody from the QA department had to come out and look at the job and account for all the tools. Make sure all the tools are present, and make sure the job was done correctly, all the way down to the safety wire. Safety wire had to be in the right direction. They were really fussy. Only certain individuals could get into the QA department. No, I never made it. But I believed in it. We're done here. Put the tire back on. Now we're working on the passenger front. I'll do the inside first. Here comes the brake fluid. We'll let that fill up to about halfway full. Yep. Nipple off. Down. Make sure it's tight. Not too tight, but tight enough. Put the dust cover back on. Enough for this one. Open. Here's the brake fluid. Look, I'm getting clean brake fluid on this one. So it doesn't look dirty at all. So I think we're done on this one. Now it's done. QA. Tight. Tight. And I think we're good. I've already taken the pressure bleeder away, disconnected it, and I pulled this off. There's what I did first is I used this to try and suction out any extra fluid that was in here so that wouldn't overflow when I pulled this off. When I pulled this off, the reservoir is right up to the brim full. So we need to siphon some of that out. So let me put this aside. And take a look how dirty this fluid and all this is. Okay, I have pulled out a little bit too much fluid. I added fluid. You can check your fluid level, taking a flashlight, just putting it on top of the reservoir with the cap off, and looking down in there. And the max side is on the side, the front side here, facing this way. You can see the max side, the max level, and you should really reach that max level. The fluid should be at the max level. Mine is, so I got that, and now I can put my cap on. Go. On and tight. Now we can perform functional tests. Okay, functional test. We will push on the brake pedal, see how feels the same as it always has. Let's turn the engine on. Yeehaw! I love that sound. I love my Maserati. The thing is to hold your foot down on it and see if it goes down all the way. If it gets to a certain point, stops and stays there, and it's not all the way down to the floor, you're good. The real test though is the drive. Well, the test drive was successful. I also did a complete walk around, checked for any leaks, and I double checked the torques on my wheels, a complete QA, and everything's good. The job is done, brake fluid's been changed on my car. The next part, the 6th part in the 7-part series of 70,000 mile service on my Maserati Ghibli is gonna be the power steering fluid. Stupid, I'm still using a wired lapel mic. I do have a wireless on order. My wife said that since I exceeded 150 subscribers, I could get a wireless microphone, wireless lapel mic. So she also said that if I exceed 1,000 subscribers, I could get a new YouTube video camera. That's a nice camera. I want that. Please, pretty please, subscribe to my video. I want that camera. If you like this video, click the like button. If you like this video, please, and so I can get my camera, click subscribe, click the bell so you'll be notified of the next video that comes out, which is part 6, changing the power steering fluid. And please click subscribe, please. I'm tired of this, using my phone as my camera. And until my next video, which hopefully will be done with a wireless microphone. And if you own a Maserati, be sure to get your thrills every day.